All right, YouTube, just like that, we have made it to another Steelers OTA and training camp sessions. And so I am going to be bringing you guys some of the videos that are coming out, some of the storylines that are coming out, and some of the situations as we are all growing now more excited than the Steelers than ever. It has been a long off season. It has been a tough off season. It was a tough end to the end of last season, but guess what? We are now officially in a new year. And before we get this video started, I want to give a shout out to not only all of you guys watching this, because it is very tough to support this Pittsburgh Steelers team. I won't lie. Like when people try to talk to me about the Steelers right now, I don't even want to talk about football. We go Pacers right now. You know, that is the kind of vibe that we are in. That is the kind of time that we are in. But I want to give a shout out to all of the people who are actually there in Latrobe or wherever this training camp session is being held at, because they are the ones who are providing us these videos. These videos that I make are pretty much what I would be doing scrolling on Twitter. And so I've decided to bring those over to the channel and we're going to talk about it together. And you can see the first one that we have on the screen, ladies and gentlemen, it is Mustache Mason Rudolph. And for you guys who, maybe you're some new Steelers fans, you have no idea who Mason Rudolph is, which I find hard to believe, but maybe, just maybe, you don't know who the guy is. What a situation, what a storyline Mason Rudolph has been thrusted into, because when we take it back, right, we take it back all the way to when we drafted the guy. Big Ben wanted absolutely nothing to do with Mason Rudolph. His potential was up there, his traits were up there. Like at the time, I was kind of hype about the pick. Him and James Washington at Oklahoma State, they were going crazy, right? And so we bring him over. He doesn't really have the best time when he does actually get to play. We start losing some games. Myles Garrett happened. Earl Thomas happened. There was a lot of situations that Mason Rudolph went through. And he stunk. I'll be honest. He kind of stunk, right? He did not play the best. But then, fast forward like 2, 3, 4 seasons, we end up putting Mason Rudolph in some games late in the season, and he started hooping, right? Like the guy Mason, he just started hooping, and we couldn't get him to a different team. That was a big thing too. Like Mason, he was just permanently on the Steelers, and then he had those like 4 games at the end of the season where he started hooping, and then he gets a deal on Tennessee. He gets to play in Tennessee. Tennessee is ass, and so like Mason Rudolph being an ass quarterback and the Tennessee Titans being ass, like they come together, it wasn't very good. And then somehow, some way, Mason has found himself back on the team. But just so you wait, because Aaron Rodgers potentially is coming to the team as well. And so it's like, who is going to be the quarterback one? Is it going to be Mason? Is it going to be Aaron Rodgers? Or is it going to be fan favorite Will Howard starting as a rookie, as a 6th round pick? Do we want to see Will Howard, or do we want to see Mason Rudolph, or do we want to see Aaron Rodgers? That is just one storyline that the Pittsburgh Steelers are going through, right? And despite all of that, through all of the talking that I just did, do y'all see Mason Rudolph with the mustache? Well, let's get a gunshot. Do you guys see Mustache Mason Rudolph right now? Let's see what the reporters have to ask him. Okay, this audio is hard as hell to hear.
Mason, how do you view your opportunity?
Same way I always have. Just control what I can control. Throw the ball well, lead the guys, and play well when I get the chance to.
Okay, so I apologize if you guys can hear that. I could barely hear it. Maybe it's because I have my camp hat on, but pretty much they asked him, how do you view this opportunity, Mason Rudolph? You are back in the black and gold. You are now being looked at as potentially quarterback one. How are you going to transform this offense? How are you going to make most of your opportunities? And Mason saying, I just got to hit my throws. I just got to get the guys open. I got to be a good leader. And all of that, Mason Rudolph is, despite the whole Myles Garrett situation, and we never know what the guy said, we don't want to talk about that. But besides those points, Mason Rudolph to me always says like the best things. Like he seems like a nice locker room guy. He seems like a good leader per se. And it's just like, it's unfortunate that his talent just isn't really where we need it to be. But that is all in the past, right? This guy is one fantastic offseason away. This guy is one, like, I'm going to lock in real quick and get a Sam Darnold-ass deal. He is one season away from potentially becoming a relatively high-paid quarterback, from potentially becoming the Steelers quarterback of the future, from potentially becoming a guy in this league. And right now, with the way the Steelers are, like, at the quarterback position, he is a guy in this league. He's probably going to be answering a lot more questions than he ever has. He probably is going to have a lot more cameras on him than he ever has. And with the mustache, like I keep harping back to the mustache. Like look at my shitty ass beard, and then look at Mason's like luscious locks that he's got going on. Like the guy just looks like a leader. He just looks like the NFL quarterback. And so can this guy, can Mason Rudolph win this job? Can he become the Steelers quarterback that we're all hoping he can be? I hope not. I'll be honest. I hope not. You know, it is what it is. If Mason plays well, I'm gonna support the guy, but it's just I don't think he's gonna play very well. But you know, that's neither here nor there. We never know what's gonna happen until it happens, and so we'll just have to see. Next up, though, a situation that I want to look at. Okay, it's Mason Rudolph again. You can see him. Look at him in these drills, man. Look at the footwork out of Mason Rudolph. Look at the tight spiral that he has. Play action pass, stepping back. Where's he going? He's going right over the middle of the field. We do not use the middle of the field, and I believe that was Roman Wilson who just caught the ball. Was it Roman Wilson? No, actually don't think that was Roman Wilson, but even still, he's throwing the ball to the middle of the field. His footwork looks great, right? Like the guy is moving, he's hooping, and he really can become a guy in this league if he just locks in. Like all it takes is one season. We are desperate for a quarterback. We are begging for a quarterback, and whether it's Mason, whether it's Skylar Thompson, whether it's Will Howard, whether it's Aaron Rodgers, whether it's Kirk Cousins, whether whoever it is, we just need somebody to lock in, man. Like at the end of the day, we just need someone to lock in. Next up, though, a situation that I wanted to talk about. Big Broderick Jones, man, because Broderick Jones, we drafted him in the first round a little bit ago, and we immediately put him in the wrong position. He has been playing right tackle the whole time. We talked about how Dan Moore just refuses to play left tackle. He just won't do it. He couldn't do it. Psychologically, it just wasn't in his favor. And so Broderick Jones, we take him, and we move him to a completely other side of the line. Now, the differences between, you know, one side and another side, I'm not an offensive lineman. I was, you know, big quarterback, big wide receiver, big, you know, athletic player. You know, that was me. That was my build. Mind you, I'm like 5'6". Neither here nor there. But what I'm saying is I don't know exactly the differences that it is between the left and right spot. But what I do know is Broderick Jones has a long history of like going to block, and he's blocking nobody. He has his hands on nobody. He has his hands on the air because people are running by him. People are like zoopty, and Broderick, he just misses them. You know, like that's the type of shit that I don't really think depends on the side of the field that you're on, especially when you've been doing it now for like 2 seasons. Like at some point he should have like adapted more to the right tackle spot, but this is the NFL. It's the hardest league in the world, you know, like shout out to soccer. This is the hardest league in the world. And so to make that change, maybe it's impossible. But now Broderick should be at the left tackle spot, and right tackle should be Troy Fautanu. And you can see a make or break year for 77. Also, Russell Wilson in the back, man. That's tough. But yeah, this is for sure a make or break year because we are reliant on Broderick Jones becoming this left tackle because he was a first round pick. This wasn't like, you know, Dan Moore being a 4th round pick and he stinks. You know, Broderick, we took him in the 1st round. We traded up for this guy. We were all very excited about getting Broderick Jones, and then, you know, we put him at the right tackle spot, and now it's like we're out on the guy. There's a lot of Broderick Jones haters out there. And so you can even see it in these videos right here as we have Steelers tackle Broderick Jones and Troy Fautanu settling in at their new spots for the first OTA sessions. So you can see on this side, this is going to be Troy Fautanu, who, by the way, coming back from injury. Shout out to Troy. You can see him and Pat Freiermuth getting some work done, man, in the blocking department. Shout out to Muth. You see Connor Hayward there, too. But Troy Fautanu, he is back on the field, right, and he is at that right tackle spot. And then if we look at that left tackle spot, you can see Broderick Jones is over here doing his thing, doing what he's always done since he was a kid. He is a left tackle, and the fact that we have been judging him as a left tackle from the right tackle spot, some say is a little messed up. Me, personally, I think it's a little messed up, too. However, I mentioned this guy, you know, he goes through situations where he's blocking nobody. Like, you see him out here in training camp right now. You see how there's nobody in front of him. There would be a lot of times in the game where it looked exactly like this, where he is trying to block nobody. And so I am hoping and praying Broderick Jones can get it done. I am hoping and praying this guy can come out in that left tackle spot because he's shown flashes. He really has shown flashes of becoming this like elite tackle, right? Like he has shown these flashes. And then back to Troy Fautanu, who like we really don't talk about enough because his rookie season was, you know, plagued by injury and whatnot. But this is a guy who should hold down that right tackle spot. In an ideal world, we have both of our tackles addressed and we have our center addressed. And low-key, Mason McCormick at guard. We have 4 of the 5 offensive line positions addressed. And then I believe Samalu is the other guard. And it's like, he's solid. You know, maybe one day we'll upgrade over Samalu. But for now, this should be a good offensive line. If we tie that in to better coaching than what we've had, if we tie that in to a better offense than what we've had, then maybe we already had, like we literally shouldn't have to draft an O-lineman out in the first, 2 rounds for 10 years, because we should have all the pieces, at least once again at center, 2 tackles. Like those 3 positions should be on lock. Mason McCormick coming in as well at guard, that low key should be on lock. We should not have to draft another offensive lineman until I'm 40 years old. I'll be honest, man. And so, with all that said, shout out to Broderick Jones. I really hope he does turn up this season. I really hope he gets it done. And I really hope Troy Fatanu is also a problem. And this audio just keeps playing. I don't know how to get it to stop playing, man, low key. And then Troy Fatanu confirms the Steelers' plan for him and Broderick Jones at OT. From what I've been told, I'm playing right tackle because we drafted you to be a right tackle. We drafted Broderick Jones to be a left tackle. Like, it's so easy, you know? Like, I don't know why the Steelers be making it so hard. I get, you know, we had to kind of substitute Dan Moore out and put Broderick Jones at the right tackle spot. You know, it is what it is. But now we are back to the basics. We are back to reality. Whoop, there goes gravity. Whoop, there goes Broderick. He choked. He's so mad, but he won't give up. You know what I'm saying? Like, Broderick Jones, we're all rooting for you, man. So you got to get it done. Next up, here we go. This class, with the exception of Ryan Watts, unfortunately, will be the key for the Steelers this upcoming offseason. Shout out to Ryan Watts. He ended up retiring. This group was plagued by injury last season, but if they can stay healthy, this team will gain in a big way from all of them. You can see all of these, not all of these guys. Obviously, Zach Frazier played. Obviously Mason McCormick played. Peyton Wilson played a little bit. But other than that, Roman Wilson, you see him over here. Troy Fatanu, you see him over here. Like, these were guys who were plagued by injury the whole season. And so these are like Roman Wilson, for example. I'm going to talk about him in a second, but this is like a wide receiver in a wide receiver room where everyone's hating. Like, this is somebody we had who, like, we haven't even really gotten to see. We've been playing without the guy. Troy Fatanu, we're talking about the line. We've been playing without Troy Fatanu this whole time. We really need these, especially Troy. We really need this guy to be a mauler. We really need this guy to come out and be that tackle that we know he can be, because like I said, we know he can be it. We know we drafted him in the first round, just like Broderick. He has that first round talent, and that should cover us for years to come. If Broderick doesn't work out, if Troy doesn't work out, it's unfortunate, because then that creates this new need of, like, okay, before we can win, we got to do this. Before we can win, we got to do that. Low key, I know we're all down on the Steelers, but you can see I got my camp hat on. I got a smile on my face. We're back. The Steelers are back. And so what I'm saying is, we low key might be a quarterback away again, man. I think, like, we could win the Super Bowl. You know, if Mason Rudolph hoops, you know, if he plays his role, if he hits the open man like he said in the interview, and our defense is our defense, why can't we win the Super Bowl? Especially if guys like Troy Fatanu, especially if guys like Broderick Jones are coming into their own, especially if guys like Roman Wilson are really showing, hey, this is why we drafted you. This is why you were on the team still. This is why we had so much faith in our wide receiver room, because we know we have Roman Wilson, who's a dog, man. Next up, you can see Roman Wilson. He's going to be running some routes here, and it looks crisp. It looks clean. Look at the guy. He's out there in full speed. He's taking it up the field. And between him and Calvin Austin, like, I think a lot of people owe our wide receiver room an apology. Like, last season, there was no excuses for it. Like, we needed another receiver, right? But, like, we didn't have to dog Calvin Austin. We didn't have to dog Roman Wilson, who was going through injury, like, in order to make that, you know, situation work or whatever. Like, we needed a wide receiver desperately, for sure. But the fact that people just gave up on Roman, the fact that people just gave up on Calvin Austin, to me, it's disgusting. I'll be honest. It is nasty how we treated Roman Wilson all last season, and maybe myself included, because, you know, I was coming on here saying we needed a wide receiver, not even really thinking that we drafted Roman Wilson last year. Also, you can see Darnell Washington over there kind of going crazy. But, you know, I am part of the problem. I for sure gave up on Roman Wilson as well, but this is a guy who, once again, we took him in like the 3rd or 4th round. He was a stud at Michigan. Like, he won a national championship there with them. He's doing his thing. Like, he just was hurt last season. Like, this is somebody who we literally, not for free because we drafted him, but, like, we played all last season without him. He could just play this season. It's like, holy shit, our offense is, like, much upgraded than before when we didn't have Roman Wilson. And, like, once again, it wasn't for free because we drafted him last season, but we've already gone through the next offseason, you know? Like, we've forgotten about this pick, so, like, it's low-key like we're getting him for free because we didn't use him last year, you know? And, like, this is just something. And I keep seeing Darnell Washington back here. Roman Wilson, we're going to talk about you again in a second, but Darnell Washington, for God's sakes, can we get this guy the ball? Like, literally just throw it to him in the goal line. Wherever we are within 10 to 5 yards of the end zone, if the ball is not going to Darnell Washington, I don't know who's it going to, because we got Connor Hayward on the team, for God's sakes. Just throw it to Darnell Washington, please. But anyway, yes, Roman Wilson, like, this is a guy who is definitely due for a comeback season. He's definitely due for like a prove it kind of year. He's definitely, you know, gonna show people some tweets like, oh, remember you tweeted this about me, remember you tweeted this about me. Hey, Zaya from Zaya and the Steelers, remember you were like, yo, trade everybody for Brandon Ayuk and I'm on the team still. You know, like I would be happy to have egg on my face or whatever about this whole Roman Wilson situation if he was a hooper. So I'm really hoping he's gonna be a hooper, man. Like at the end of the day, I'm really hoping that. And we can see Roman Wilson running crisp routes. Broderick Jones finally back to taking reps at left tackle. We might be back. Ladies and gentlemen, we might be back. I'm very excited about the Steelers team, like I said, and like it's so much different than last year because last year we had Russell Wilson, we had Justin Fields, like we had do I want to say we had hope, right? Like we had hope for the next season and like we maybe could win a championship. This year we can, like I said, we can win a championship. I hope we win a championship, but like do I think we're gonna? I guess it just remains to be seen. So like it's like this year is for fun, you know. And I know we have T.J. Watt, we have so many players that are aging. Cam Hayward, who like we want to get him a Super Bowl so bad, and we're sitting here talking about for fun. But like, you know, it's just the vibes. I got my camp hat on, like you know, like it's not as serious this year because we have fucking Mason Rudolph out there at quarterback. But maybe Mason Rudolph is a hooper. Maybe Will Howard is a hooper. All of that still remains to be seen. Next up, talking about remaining to be seen, big Jaylen Warren, man. You know I had to get him on the screen because not only do we have Jaylen Warren taking some reps here at OTAs, which by the way, look how strong the guy looks. Like look how built Jaylen Warren is as the new RB1 potentially. You know, maybe he's gonna be RB1. Maybe a guy like Caleb Johnson is gonna be RB1. But if you know, you know, I've been clamoring for Jaylen Warren to hit the field more. And like, I just think his speed, his athleticism, his pass blocking ability, his receiving ability, he has all of the tools necessary to be like a stud running back in the league. And now it's not just him because Najee Harris, not too much on Najee. I almost went the whole video without mentioning Najee. Najee Harris is on a new team. He was a first round pick. He was kind of like, you know, thrusted into like, here, you have to have these snaps because we drafted you in the first round. Now it is between Jaylen Warren and a guy like Caleb Johnson, who Caleb Johnson, by the way, look at this dude. He's handing out the footballs and like, look how built he is. Like, it's like he's running the drill on his own. Look at him and Jaylen Warren, and then he flies through the hole. He just absolutely explodes through it. And so Caleb Johnson and Jaylen Warren, when we talk about these running back situations, Caleb Johnson, I believe we drafted in the 3rd or 4th round. There is no like guaranteed snaps here. Jaylen Warren was, you know, he's an undrafted guy. He's the smallest dude out there too. That is straight heart. That is straight ability. Jaylen Warren, he looks the smallest out of them. But if you put 3 linebackers right there and you said, hey, run through them, I bet Jaylen Warren is getting the farthest, only outside of potentially Caleb Johnson because the dude is yoked. Look at him, man. Like I'm very excited about Caleb Johnson. I'm very excited about this offense. And like I said, no Najee Harris this year. I was not the biggest Najee guy. I thought like he had some negative plays for us a lot. He kind of tore down the momentum a lot. He did his thing. He didn't have 1,000 yards. But at the end of the day, we need positive impact players. We need positive impact plays. We need splash plays, big splash plays. And I think Caleb Johnson and Jaylen Warren are going to be full of splash plays. Lastly, for this video, are the Steelers going to pivot to Kirk Cousins? No. Please do not get Kirk Cousins. If it is down to Kirk Cousins, Will Howard, or Mason Rudolph, play Will Howard. And if you don't want to play Will Howard, play Mason Rudolph. And if you don't want to play either of those guys, play Skylar Thompson. We have no business getting Kirk Cousins right now. I'll be honest. Like, maybe I'm sleeping and Kirk Cousins is low-key my guy, but it just doesn't make sense. Aaron Rodgers low-key really doesn't make sense, but it's Aaron Rodgers, right? And Kirk Cousins has been an okay he's been a fantastic quarterback, you know, his whole career. He's definitely been underrated too, but like it's just way different. Kirk Cousins could like come to the Steelers and have like an okay season for himself. Like he has, you know, whatever, 5,000 yards, 30 touchdowns, like 5 picks. Like he can have a good individual season and then like sit at home eating a cookie like, man, I ate this year. We don't need that shit. We don't need someone who like can upgrade himself. Aaron Rodgers, the only thing possible for this guy to do in order to feel good about himself at the end of the year is win a Super Bowl. If Aaron Rodgers doesn't win a Super Bowl, he failed this season. If Kirk Cousins plays good and like we lose in the first round, Kirk Cousins had a good season. You know, like we do not need a quarterback like that on the team. We need quarterbacks that it is do or die. Mason Rudolph, if you don't play good and you get to play, he will never play in the NFL again. Maybe, I mean, you know what I'm saying? Like, as a starter, you know, he'll probably be a backup, but like, that's just the stakes. Will Howard, if he plays and like it doesn't look good, he's young, but that could tarnish tarnish his development. If he goes out there and like we just suck and he just gets sacked every play, that could just absolutely ruin the guy. Skylar Thompson, if he plays on the Steelers somehow and like he gets to get in a game and he's just ass, he will never play in the NFL again. Like, these are the stakes that we have at quarterback. This is what we need. This is the desperation that we need, because we are dying for a playoff win. We are dying to get back to that Super Bowl. We are dying to get that 7th Lombardi. And so, no, we don't need Kirk Cousins. I'll be honest. We do not need Kirk Cousins. Please do not go out and get Kirk Cousins. If anything, just ride it out with Mason Rudolph. But anyways, I want to know what you guys think. I want to know what you guys think about all of these things going on in OTAs right now. Low-key, it's happening as we speak. And so, like, if I hit this home button right here, maybe I'll see, like, a new thing to talk about. First day of OTAs is in the books. Like, you can see we just have B-roll of various position groups down here. We have some more running back drills right here from Jaylen Warren, just absolutely exploding through. Look at, oh, is that Arthur Smith with the machine or with the stick? That is Arthur Smith with the stick. Arthur Smith with the stick is crazy, bro. But anyway, you can see the running backs. I'm very excited to go through this today. I'm sure I'll have another video tomorrow with like all of the videos and more to come out about the team. Also, DK Metcalf was not there today. TJ Watt was not there today. Cam Hayward was, though. But I think if you're just that good, you don't have to go to the first day of OTAs. What kind of message does that send? I'm not sure. But shit, I'm excited to see DK Metcalf out there, and I'm excited to see TJ Watt out there. Anyways, those guys, I am going to get out of here as I do have to, get to work here. But I really enjoy making these videos, and I hope if anybody made it to this point, hit that like button, hit that subscribe button. I'm going to be making these videos all the time. I always do it. We're now in like year 2 or 3 of Zaya and the Steelers. And so I got my camp hat on. I got my shit on. I'm excited. So anyways, guys, peace out, and I will see you in the next video.